Hey, all of you guys, I hope you're doing great. It has been a crazy weekend with a lot of different energetic shifts. I think everybody probably saw all the reports that the Schumann resonance was over 150 at some point this weekend, which is insane. To my knowledge, that's a record. To my knowledge, it's not gone that high before, but don't quote me on that. So I wanted to do my usual Monday, or my newly established usual Monday energy update, even though we just did that live on Thursday. Mostly because of all the shifts that we all went through. I know that I spent a lot of time needing to rest this weekend just because my energy I was not able to do very much. Emotionally going up and down, kind of, and it wasn't even my stuff. So that's, when I start to think that we really are at times transmuting for other people, for the collective or whatever. And it could just be that, my physical body was extremely uncomfortable with that kind of high vibration. I mean, who knows? The theory is that sort of high vibration helps to knock loose a lot of the denser, more negative energies that we hold on to and assist us in releasing and therefore ascending. So that's kind of the theory behind what happens when the energies raise that high. So there's so much going on. I wanted to find out a little more from my guides about what we should expect this week, and what's happening right now, what the outcome could be. Of course, it's only a could be scenario because we have free will and can change things at any time, make different choices or whatever. So let's go ahead and check on that. First of all, I just want to, or not even first, secondly, I want to thank all of you guys for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. As I keep saying, every time you do that, you make the videos more visible to more people, and it's really showing on the analytics page of my site. Instead of being like up and down, whenever I post a video, it's starting to go up and then level off and up and level off. So it's kind of nice to see that the process is working. And I appreciate all of you being here. I hope that you're getting something from my messages. That's why I do it. And if you do like what you hear, you can schedule a private with me on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. There's also an upload or an option to purchase a recorded reading at a lower cost than my personal one-on-one live readings. Okay, so take a look at that if you have been avoiding the personals just because of cost. Okay. All right, so without further ado, let's get some of these cards shuffling. I'm using a later version of the Zerner-Farber Tarot. I love the Zerner-Farber Tarot. If anybody comes into an original printing of one from the 90s, that was my first deck, and I just love it. Mine is now gone. This is smaller. It cut off all the borders. It's, not as long as the other one, so it's not exactly what I was hoping for. Anyway, we're going to use this anyway. All right, so what energies are coming through to us this week, which is March 17th through through the end of the week? Something just flipped on me as I was talking. Okay. Couple more cards. What energies are coming through for us this week? All right, I'm just going to stop here for a second. I have the Strength card. Strength with the Five of Pentacles. And the Prince of Wands is the first set that I've got coming out here. And what I'm really feeling from this is there is the strength to come out of a comfort zone seems to be coming up here. And it's like the strength to change either a cycle or change past actions or make a motion forward when you have not been confident enough to do that in the past, when in the past you have felt maybe not good enough, or you have not felt stable enough. You have felt in some way outside of, or not as good as, and you were not ready to step outside of that. It's almost like your comfort zone was your alienation or something. You know, alienation is a very strong word. That's not going to be it for everybody. But I just feel like, you know, so what I'm hearing is that a lot of the changes that have taken place in people over the last few days was to wipe away or to sort of shake out some of the inauthentic energies keeping you tied down. They're showing me like this. So I guess it's like it was sort of keeping you beaten down in the 3D because of energies you were holding on to from, you know, these might have been fears that you were holding from childhood, but it could also be from past lives, existences that you no longer are even interacting with or a part of, but because all of that filters into the subconscious mind from, you know, the akashic records, our subconscious mind doesn't have a way to keep time. It's just, it all is the present for the subconscious mind, which is, excuse me, I released something there. I also am drinking soda. What's it called? Seltzer. Anyway. So it's holding on to certain things as if it's still in the present. So let's say you were like an assassin in the 1500s. Your subconscious mind may still be pulling and holding on to the fears and the PTSD type. I'm just feeling into that energy right now. That goes along with that, and you might have called it in then for many times past, and you might have been calling it in this life as well, because your subconscious is living from that present state, right? So what happened is a lot of that was shaken free. So now your alienation inside that space of fear has been cleared, and you're going to have the opportunity and the strength to start to step forward in a new way. Okay? That could be in any way possible. It could be to apply for a job you never thought you could get. It could be to start a new business or a new, you know, healing practice, or start reading cards on YouTube, or it could be that you, you know, make contact with, you reconnect with a friend that you had a falling out with and that you feel called to reconnect with. It could be that you finally reach out to somebody who you've been wanting to engage in a relationship. Like, it could be any of those things. You finally, you know, have that talk with your dad and forgive him. All that stuff can be happening right now. And that's that portal that we were talking about on Thursday, the portal to the 5D. They're showing me how in that card there were the 3 wands making a triangle, and through that triangle was the rainbow of the rainbow bridge to the 5D. And so I feel like this is making some of that movement possible, whether it be on a very practical level or on a more esoteric level, okay? All right, so let's get some more cards for the energies of this week. Embrace that. You might, I mean, we should expect that a lot of these changes are permanent, that we won't be dipping back down necessarily, even though, you know, there's always ebb and flow in certain energies. But as far as like the major energies, once that shit's cleared, it should be cleared. However, take this opportunity to make some of those moves, because you are supported in many ways, not just from the releasing, but from the other energies that are happening right now. There's just so much happening, you know, astrologically and in the universe itself, within the collective. All of the energies are supportive and help to lift the others up. Okay, so take advantage of that. All right, let's get some more cards for what is happening or what we should be expecting this week. Okay, King of Hearts. And a couple more. High Priestess. There's your subconscious. Anything else you want to share? Anything else to share? Source Creator, do you want to share any other information about the energies we should be expecting for this week, please? All right, so We have the King of Hearts here, which is the King of Cups. We have the High Priestess, and we have the Nine of Wands. All right. So whatever's coming through is a long time coming. It's also, the Nine of Wands sometimes is not such a great card, but to me this feels like victory. I mean, maybe it's these sort of military insignias at the top. Maybe it's this woman standing here looking victorious. But this really does feel like a hard-won victory, okay? It feels like, it also, I just heard the term grace under fire, so keep that in mind for anything that's happening this week. It could be that all kinds of things are sort of shifting and being a little bit chaotic is kind of what I'm hearing. And so having grace under fire, knowing that you have the strength, you have the strength to overcome or to withstand or to flow through is the other thing that they're saying. So keep that in mind. With the King of Hearts and the High Priestess, I feel a couple things happening here. The first one that was coming to me is on a more general, broad scale. I feel like it's very important to pay attention to those nagging emotions, right? Like, so something happens. You might have thoughts about it. You might have some really obvious feelings about it, but there's often that nag. And that's the kind of nag that you have to stop and say, why do I feel this way? What is causing this? That's the kind of emotion I feel like this is talking about. Those are those little tiny base things that are living in your subconscious mind, okay, that can affect your day-to-day life, the way that you engage different relationships, the way that you just interact with people in general, the way that you interact with yourself, the way that you think about yourself on the day-to-day. It all works together to affect your thoughts and your actions, your emotions, and all of it creates a resonance around you, which is going to attract or repel things that either are like or dislike you, okay? And so the feeling here is that when they come up, you can easily clear them at this time by just saying, God, what is that? So for me, something came up today where, I don't want to give too much information because I don't know who's watching this, but what came up was that someone reported that a certain person was doing something, okay? And then when I brought that to this person's supervisor's attention, the supervisor said, well, this person does the same thing. And it surrounded like a sort of disrespect of another person, okay? And so I have this feeling inside me where I want to know what this is. What is that feeling that created? And it, to me, when I think about it, I was like, it's because I am hurt that there would be this kind of like veil, this kind of inauthentic communication made where they're actually projecting their own behavior onto another person. Now, do I think that was consciously inauthentic? Absolutely not. I think this person is probably just not aware enough to see their own behavior in this other person, which is a classic case of mirroring, right? So these two people are mirroring each other and they're triggering each other just in a community context. Like, we're not even talking divine complements or twin flames or anything like that. So, long story short, I had to ask myself what that feeling was and decide if it was something I could simply release or if I really needed to go deeper. And that's kind of what we're talking about, is go deeper. When the situation comes up, check it out, look at it, go deeper if you need to. Because all of that is just that other layer of moving deeper into self-love, moving deeper into stability, energetic stability, and the ascension process, of course. That may be a little bit about what this grace under fire is as you're under fire, and I'm not talking, like, I don't want to freak anybody out. It's, not necessarily anything huge. It just could be these little things. Check it out, gracefully move through it. Allow it to release without fighting, without holding on. Allow it to release. The other thing I'm getting is the masculine collective receiving another brow chakra activation and opening. So these are individuals who are genuinely on this ascension path, okay? Could also be those genuinely on the path of divine relationship or divine compliments or whatever. So, and I say that because it's the King of Hearts. It's not the King of Swords. It's not the King of Pentacles. It's nothing else there. This is a genuine and heart-based person, or someone who has had a heart awakening recently. They are now receiving potentially another, and possibly a first brow chakra, third eye chakra awakening. Okay, I feel like that's opening up for them. So either whether it be your masculine half or another person who holds the masculine energy, there is a greater clarity coming through, and it is coming through the intuition. It's not necessarily through, their own mental knowledge. This is coming through the intuition. And so and that intuition is connecting into, they're showing me the heart chakra. So you should expect to see, or feel within yourself, if you are holding the masculine energy, or even just if you are in your own masculine energy, a greater connection through your intuition and your heart, even when engaging in those leadership skills, those forward movement skills, all those things that we consider our masculine energy. I don't think I need to explain to you by now that doesn't mean anything if you're a male or female. We all have both, okay? So that's not like a discriminatory statement or something. Obviously, women can achieve and do all those things, but they're using their masculine energy when they're doing that, and they're equally as important feminine energy, is activated when they're in the process of receiving things. So you need to have both, okay? All right. That's just for any newbies who are watching me today, getting triggered by me saying any of that stuff. All right. So that almost moved on to my next question already. My next question was, what should we be prepared to release? Because that's always the question. Every time you're gaining something, you're always releasing something. Do you see that thing float past? That's got to be fuzz. I don't even know. Okay. Let's go to a different deck. Let's go ahead and I'm liking my Victorian or Vintage Wisdom Oracle these days. Let's get some advice for moving forward with this week with the energies. What's the advice? Advice for this week, please. For the collective. The advice for this week for the collective, please. Oops, this one was... Do I take that? I don't think that... I think that was left over from when I shuffled it last. Okay. Advice for this week, please. One part, please. What? Oh, no, this would have been... Sorry, this is taking a while. Advice for this week, please. Is this a yes? Yes. Okay. Release. We already talked about that. Just do it. It kind of goes along with the second card, which is discernment. So release and discernment came out. And they just told me they go together. And that's really exactly what I was talking about. So you have that niggling feeling, right? Go in there. What is it? And then if it needs to be released, release it. If it's not really, ask yourself, is this really a problem? Is this true? Is this important? If it's not, then it's an easy one to release. Just flick it off your shoulder. If it's a big one, then maybe you need to sit down and do a little more work, investigate a little more. Or if you're adept with your energy work, if you're, you know, super in command of your own energy and your own emotions, as the King of Hearts would be, just open that heart chakra. Just let it float out. They're also showing me, so a couple weeks ago, I had to remove some kind of entity which attached to one of my clients, which came through voodoo. And, you know, not to get too super weird on you, but I didn't realize this was happening until my guides, because I listen very, very closely in my sessions to my record keepers and guides and to Source Creator. And I was actually like guided to do this kind of like weird movement, almost dance thing. And it was about cracking that heart chakra open. And I could feel that entity in there. And this was me doing this on behalf of my client who was hundreds of miles away. Okay. So I do most of my work remotely. And so this wasn't attached to me. This was attached to her, but I was doing the movement and the motion on her behalf. And I felt it as it finally detached, but I had to move my body in order to open that energy up. And so they're reminding me of that now, because it's possible that some of these releases this week, I'm not saying it's going to be anything like that, but it might require and help for you to move your body in order to start releasing the attachments that are within ourselves. And I'm not saying like, again, I'm not saying like, you know, major attachments, but we store our emotions within our physical body in big chunks, or even just within our cells. It's in there. And so moving your physical body, cleansing your physical body with water, you know, by drinking water, and eating things that are healthy or whatever, is definitely going to assist you in doing that. But take the time to try to discern what it is that you're feeling so that you can release it. And as an additional message, remember movement. Get some exercise. I feel like that might be an important part of this week. I also feel like they're saying that whatever energies are coming through this week, it might actually help you to process them by moving your body. Okay? So there were no cards that came out about that. That is just what they are harping on at this second. I am going to pull some other cards from this big pile. Just asking for advice for this week for the collective, please. Advice for the collective, please. Okay. All right. The first one that came out is the person you're asking about is trustworthy. So thank you for helping me have faith so I can open my heart wider in my relationships. I am grateful for your protection, ensuring that only trustworthy people are in my life. And so if you are asking about a certain person during this reading, this is saying that that person is trustworthy, or your guidance is trustworthy, or what you are hearing about them is trustworthy. This literally says the person is trustworthy. So I do think it goes back to whoever it is you are asking about in this reading. Okay. Or whoever it's been on your mind. Maybe you didn't ask the question before this reading, but if they've been on your mind. The next card is ask. So if you, ask us, this is from the angels, ask us to help you in this situation and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We are governed by many universal laws, and among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request. If you want help from the angelic realms, if you want help from Source Creator, if you want help from your guides, you must ask, okay? They are not allowed to interfere in your life unless it is a life or death situation, unless you ask them for help. You don't have to make it fancy. Just say it. Just say whatever, and you will see that it will come through. That was a message for somebody who needed it. And finally, reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. Okay? That is the last bit of advice there. And that makes so much sense considering what we have all just been through with the last, just the last few days. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, I can't even count on one hand how many salt baths I took this weekend. It was intense for me personally. Maybe people who are like not so connected into their energy, maybe they didn't have such a difficult weekend, but I found it very, very challenging, and it's going to continue. And that is a good thing because it's helping us again to knock some of this, this emotional crap and energetic crap, these blockages loose. All right. We have already reached a certain point of strength in being able to make certain steps forward, to take certain steps in the right direction, to change direction, to release ourselves from addictions or addictive behaviors, all kinds of stuff. So do take note of that this is not, if you're feeling very overwhelmed, I'm hearing that if you're feeling very overwhelmed by all of this, do know that you have already made a lot of progress. And please do not get in despair because I know that for some people this has been a very extreme type process. That's also showing up here with the Nine of Wands. This is just being like, please just make this stop. Please just make this stop. Okay, and I feel that on the energetic level and also on the 3D level. So if you're in a situation where you're like, please just make this stop, that's an opportunity to ask your angels for assistance, okay? Put that out there. Put that out there for universal help. It doesn't matter if you believe in angels or not. I've said a million times, I could give a shit less what people actually like truly believe in. The ideas are out there. Like, all possibilities are possible. If you believe, what I believe in is the power of the human mind, and I believe in the creative potential of source energy, or the energy that surrounds us, that gives us life, okay? And so any possibility is possible. If you believe in angels, fantastic, ask them for help. If you believe in God, fantastic, ask him or her for help. If you just believe in the universe being a creative force, great, put it out there. Just ask. And that's an intention. Set your intentions, right? I'm going to end it there for today, even though I could probably go on for a while. Please let me know if this was helpful to you. Please let me know how you're doing, how you got through the last few days. And please do share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. I super appreciate all of you, okay? I will talk to you soon. Bye.